Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Elite City Podcast. It is All In Week, and we have previews for you. Biddy is away on assignment, so Biddy, be safe, and we will see you hopefully next week with the review show for this and another preview show for All Out.
And now without Biddy, no offense to Biddy, but now we have a chance to actually win our prediction contest.
Right. Yeah, she
without,
doesn't get the
without Biddy just embarrassing us and destroying us.
Right. Yeah, if you're not here, your votes are null and void.
You immediately lose just because we are bitter and want a chance.
Right. Just yes, because we haven't won yet. We're bitter.
That's right.
And
we're
gonna bend the rules.
That's right. Little does anyone know, we didn't even tell Biddy we were doing a podcast. We just had it without her, just so that she couldn't possibly win. She's gonna hear this tomorrow and be like, guys, what?
Yeah, you said you were tired. I'm like, oh, I was of losing. Wow, that just came off the top of my head.
That was good. Nice job.
Thank you. Yeah, so this week's gonna be nuts. There's a lot gonna happen. So we're just gonna go over the all-in card and things that we know and kind of, I don't know, meld both of those things together.
Now, before we get to the card, I know this is a thing on the internet. People have played. It's the internet, so people are mad.
Yes.
Do you care that people? This idea that the card has been rushed together and underwhelming. Do you have that opinion?
Not at all.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't know where it's coming from.
See, someone posted something the other day and on the internet, of course, and it made a lot of sense. AEW is never going to get the credit ever, because if these were all AEW originals, they would say there's not enough star power there to sell out Wembley. And then, they obviously have a mix of some WWE people. They're like, oh, well, those people are on the show just to sell tickets. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And I also figure people have this idea that just because AEW hasn't announced didn't announce the matches until last week or the week before, that they just came out of nowhere. Most of these matches did not come out of nowhere.
Right.
They have storylines. It's just they didn't announce the match until last week. But that doesn't mean there wasn't a feud. It just meant that the formality of. Oh, I mean, there's one match that I'll rant about later that really came out of nowhere. But the rest of them kind of built from somewhere. It's not just random. So I don't understand this point that AEW just throws together their cards at the last minute. Maybe they only announced them at the last week or two. But that doesn't mean MJF and Adam Cole, we knew that was going to be a match a couple of months ago. They just hadn't said it yet.
And that's the thing. If you're semi paying attention, the average AEW fan knew all of this. Not all of it, but it all makes sense. You look at it and you're like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it all fits into storylines that we're developing over time.
Yeah, so if you're...
I think it's people who aren't paying attention. I think it's people who aren't really following AEW and just kind of check in here and there. They're like, what? They haven't announced any matches, not realizing that, no, they've been building up to stuff. They just haven't said it yet.
Yeah, I mean, even you posted it in our little group chat today. I mean, they even did a thing with Darby, AR Fox, and Swerve that went back 4 years.
Yeah.
It's all planned out. It's just,
and obviously things change. People get hurt, people get whatever. But I'm not bothered by it at all.
No, not at all. I'm actually excited for it, and I keep trying to figure out how everything that has been announced, how it's going to fit into 5 hours. And we might know more. We might get more.
I have a feeling, because how many matches are there now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9 on the main card.
Yeah, that's
8 on the main card right now, officially.
Okay.
So there's usually 10 on most shows.
That's true. That's true.
And then they have 11 or 12 with the pre-show.
Right.
So they're probably going to add maybe one pre-show match, maybe, I don't know, or they might just have MJF and Cole as the only pre-show match, and 1 or 2 other matches.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see them adding something to the pre-show as like another match, because everybody is going to want to see all of that tag match, but you might not necessarily want to see no offense to whoever they just put on the pre-show, Commander and Bandito. I don't know.
Or if they have I was thinking they might have like a battle royal. You might be like, I can miss half of that, right? But,
yeah, because you only need to see the last 10 seconds of a battle royal. That makes perfect sense. And you get more people to wrestle in front of 80,000 people.
Yeah, and I really do. I'm not sure if it'll happen, but I really do hope they add another women's match to the show, because there really should be. There should be, like, the TBS title should be on this card.
Totally. My only we'll get to it more in a minute, but my only thing is I think we're not learning a lot, because they're having 2 pay-per-views back to back. So in a normal situation, I'd 100% agree with you saying, the TNT title should be on this show, but then you also need stuff for next week, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Let's get to the card, though. We don't have time to discuss all this. Busy week.
Busy week. So right off the top, for the buy-in, we have Aussie Open, who are the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, versus MJF and Adam Cole. And it's for the Ring of Honor belts, which mean a lot to Cole. And storyline wise, this is the match. This is where everything goes astray, in my opinion, for them too.
Yeah, that would make sense. I just also want to say that this is an important time to like and share and subscribe.
Well, yes.
And rate us and follow us online, including on Blue Sky now, Elite City Pod. Yes,
we're on Blue Sky, and that's the only new one. So we're there.
Yeah. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff before we'll tell you what we think of the pay-per-view. Make sure you like and share. Just do it right now while you're listening. Just hit like, hit share, hit subscribe, hit a button, hit one of the buttons, hit one of the good buttons on your phone.
Yes.
And do
even
that.
The bad one. You can. Even
the bad one is like where you close the podcast. Don't do that. Or
they can do that. I mean, they can.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
don't hit thumbs down. Don't do that.
Exactly.
No one wants that. That's not even an option. But the rest of them, go for it. Hit them.
Totally. Yeah, even if you don't like it, still hit it. That's what I was getting at.
There you go.
Because that still helps. But you could be bitter, but just help us out a little bit.
But anyway. I do get what you're saying. I do think this is where it's going to come apart, and obviously whatever happens in this match will affect whatever happens in the main event.
Okay. Do you want my theory?
I do.
Okay. My theory is, first and foremost, to get it right out of the way, Aussie Open, they retain, but it's going to be a good match. But the Kingdom is going to come down with brand new member Roderick Strong. So you're going to have Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and they're going to come down and they're going to attack.
Is Maria still with them, or is she just in ROH now without them?
Maybe both, but I don't know. She has been on ROH without them, but when they post things online, they're together. So I don't know.
All right.
So okay, they're gonna come in and they're gonna, you're gonna think they're there for MJF. They're gonna attack Cole. So the whole crowd's gonna think oh my God, MJF paid him off. MJF's gonna be pleading to Cole. Cole's gonna just be push him away, and they're gonna run to the back. And then we'll fast forward to the main event. That was all the ruse. They're gonna all attack MJF, help Adam Cole win the real title and the big title, and they're gonna reform the Kingdom.
I like that a lot. I think that's really good. I think it works on a lot of different. Yeah, it works. It works really well. I like that a lot.
It's the double swerve.
Yeah, and I like that MJF finally trusts someone and then they screw him over. I like that a lot. I really hope that's what happens. I like it. It's good.
Me too. And then the whole thing, with Roderick Strong, nobody listening to him, and it also every week him getting a little more hurt is hilarious. When he kicked the car. Yeah, and then he was sitting there holding his foot. That was it's amazing. The worst acting, but it's the worst acting on purpose, and it's amazing. Yes. And I hope they learned their lesson if they ever do this again. The person needs to continually get hurt every week and just keep adding. So by the time it ends, they're like,
I hope now, like on All In, he also has a cast on his foot and a neck brace. Like he has crutches and like.
And then at the main event, he just rips it all off, and everyone's like, "Oh no!"
In the main event, for some reason, he has a broken arm. No, they don't explain it. He just like
in those 4 hours, he slipped and fell, broke arm. But that's my big.
I like that a lot. I think that's great. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I think Aussie Open retains.
Yes.
I do think that maybe. I think Adam Cole is going to be the one who screws MJF. So I think that maybe Adam Cole will not strand MJF in the ring. Like he's not going to drop off the apron and be like, "I'm not taking you out." But MJF will be beaten up and reach for a tag, and Adam Cole will jump to stop someone from Aussie Open from interfering, and then he won't get the tag, and then he'll get rolled up. Something like that, where Adam Cole doesn't really screw him, but he kind of screws him.
Right.
And then they'll apologize backstage and hug it out and be like, "No, we're still bros," just so then Adam Cole can screw him later. But I like yours. I think that's really good.
I've been thinking of it, and they're really doing a lot of deep cut callbacks and old feuds with Fox and
especially because Roderick Strong's acting is so over the top.
Yes.
It's pretty obvious that it seems to me pretty obvious that he's faking.
Yes. Oh, it's so good.
And it works with the pay-per-view back-to-back the way they are. Because say you I don't know if I'm ready for MJF to lose the title, but technically he could win it back next week. Cole could screw him over and he could just win it back the week later and just have this as a moment where he tried to trust somebody and it didn't work. So now he's like, "Well, I was right the first time. I never should have trusted anyone." And just
that's true. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
That is he could just invoke his rematch for next Sunday. Oh man.
Yeah, why not?
Going back to how we opened the show, are people complaining about All Out? I mean, we literally know nothing. We don't even know if it's on pay-per-view yet.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anyone complain, but they'll complain about that shortly afterwards. Yeah, as soon as All In's over, you'll get a maybe half a day of people being, "Wow, that show was really great," and then from that on, it'll just be like, "Well, what about All Out? It's still bad."
It's still bad. It was already bad.
That's right.
Still awful.
That's definitely. I am a little intrigued because Cole didn't read the contract. I wonder if that's going to come back into play. If MJF's going to do something with the contract, is he going to try to screw Cole and Cole's going to screw him first? I don't know. Or maybe it says if I lose, I get an automatic rematch and All Out.
I mean, there was a reason.
Maybe that's in the contract.
Yeah. There's definitely a reason that, he gave him and he's just sign it. And then he hurried up and he signed it. That happened for a reason.
Yeah. This storyline is so good. I just want to say it's so good. It started off as the typical, partners who don't like each other. Yes. But they've done such a really good job. I actually don't know what's going to happen. And I'm really looking forward to it.
I can't agree with you more. This is the first time in forever that everything that we just said has a potential to happen, along with 45 other things we haven't even named.
Right. No offense to AEW, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Predictability isn't bad always. Correct. When Hangman beat Kenny Omega, it was the right decision. Everyone thought it was going to happen, but it was also the obvious right decision. So that was fine. But there's very few main events in wrestling where you just have no idea what's going to happen at all. Yeah. And this is one of them. I have MJF could screw Cole could screw MJF. It could just be a match. Anything can happen, and I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's so fun, and it's such a good storyline. And they've both done such good jobs with it.
Well, yeah, you hit the nail on the head this week during Dynamite in the group text whenever you're MJF is the greatest wrestler on the planet.
He is.
He totally is.
He's I know that the knock on him was always it's just cheap heat. He makes fun of your mom or your sports team, right? Yeah. But he doesn't really do that as much now, and he's he brings his character to life in the sense that I don't know what's Max Friedman. Right. His real name is Max Friedman, right? That's his actual name. I don't know what's Max Friedman the human being, what's MJF the character, or what's MJF the character pretending MJF the character is about. Like, I don't know. But like when he brings up that, like, all I wanted to do was come out of wrestling camp and one of the guys I named was Adam Cole. Like, that's true. Like, he posted on Instagram like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's true. So the fact that he brings all that stuff into his character and makes it so like he has he's not a one note. He's the last thing from a one note character. And it's so good.
Totally. Yeah.
He can cut a promo where you hate him. He can cut a promo where you feel sorry for him. He can cut a promo where you want to cheer for him. Like,
and he can do all.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he can do those three things in 3 sentences.
Right. Like, in one promo.
Yeah. He's unreal.
And everyone underrates his like wrestling ability. When people are just like, "Oh, this is a good storyline," but I was hoping for Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay type main event. When, like, yes, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay were outstanding at Forbidden Door. That was an incredible match. But like MJF and Adam Cole had a match, like 2 months ago? That was very, very good. Like, they're not just characters. Like, they're also incredible wrestlers. Like, the match is going to be good.
It's gonna be so good. Like, people can blah. It's whatever. we'll move on to because we're not even to the main show yet, and we're talking about the main event. So
yes,
I do have a question about this match with it's Eddie, Best Friends, and Lucha Brothers. Is it also Orange Cassidy?
I think it is. Yeah, because it's 6-on-6.
Okay, so then we have the BCC, which with Wheeler, Claudio, and Mox, and then they can add up. Well, not up to. They can add 3 people, which we don't know yet.
And it's Stadium Stampede, which
Stampede.
Is it different from Anarchy in the Arena, or is it just in a stadium and not an arena?
Well, it's
the old Stadium Stampede was like in an empty arena because it was COVID.
Right.
But
this
like,
is the first.
Still have people in it.
Yeah, this is the first time it's going to be in a stadium with people.
So it's kind of like Anarchy in the Arena, except it's in a stadium. So it's
correct.
Stadium Stampede, not arena. Okay.
And
like, they'll just be all over the place. Like, is it pinfall? Like, is it pinfall in the ring? Does anyone know?
That's how the last one. Well, no, it wasn't, because the first time
was in the empty arena.
Yeah, because Kenny gave Sammy the one-winged angel off the first tier to the second tier.
The second one ended in the ring, because that was the one where the inner circle was. It was the first show they had fans again.
Yes. Yeah.
So that one ended in the ring.
Okay.
So I guess I don't know. They haven't said.
Okay.
Is Eddie going to try to set someone on fire?
Probably. I mean, he's going to do whatever the limits are to push. He's going to do it.
Any picks for who the 3 are?
Well, I have 2 theories on who I want it to be. I either want it to be Dark Order or House of Black. Just because I feel that Dark Order, because they were day one, they've been here, they deserve to be in front of the fans. And I mean, House of Black, I mean, come on, they're just incredible. So they just add to the match.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling it could be people that we're totally not expecting.
I have a feeling and I don't know anyone, so this is not me being offensive, or belittling anyone. I think it's 3 people from New Japan.
Oh,
I just don't know enough about New Japan to know who it's going to be. I feel like Eddie and Mox will both think it's cool to bring in some rugged New Japan legend and have him being this. So I think that's who it's going to be. I don't know who, because I don't know enough about New Japan, but I think it is going to be 3 people from New Japan.
I mean, you could just take Ishii, Suzuki, and one other person, and I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be something, it'll be something like that. It's going to be Mox is going to pick 3 guys that he likes from New Japan, and those are going to be his guys. I also had a brief thought. Is there any chance that one of them's Danielson?
I mean, it could be. I mean, he
somewhat healed. He could do
I was going to say you can
5 minutes of a brawl.
Yeah, you can hide his injury in a 12-man match.
Yeah,
for sure.
He doesn't have to wrestle one-on-one. He doesn't have to do that much. He can just throw a chair at somebody and just be there.
Well, here was the question I was going to pose to you. Do you do this totally old school and don't tell anybody who it is, and then we find out when they're announced?
I hope so. I think that's what they'll do.
I hope so. Like, that hasn't happened in so long.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, we live in a time when we have infinite information at our fingertips. So
yeah,
9 times
someone's
going to
take a photo of some guy at a bar in London the night before and be like, "This is who it is," and tell the whole internet. But
still, that's fine. But
yeah,
I just hope AEW doesn't announce it, because I can stay off the internet, kinda.
Yeah, I agree.
I
don't know who's going to win though. Who do you think?
I'm gonna say for the crowd, I'm gonna say Eddie and Best Friends. I'm gonna let the faces win.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. It just, the BCC's been losing kind of a lot, but they also
true too.
They also just crushed Best Friends in that parking lot brawl, so maybe Best Friends.
True.
I feel like Best Friends has to get some sort of retribution for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the faces will win. Do you think this is leading to a Mox Orange Cassidy international title match?
Oh, I hope so now. I didn't even think of that.
Because that's what I was thinking of. But I hope Mox isn't the guy who beats him. I hope he beats Mox if they do it.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would be incredible though. Okay.
Because the BCC needs to do something. They're kind of like floating around right now.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Like I mean, obviously, like we always talk about, Tony Khan doesn't like to do plan Bs, and the BCC could be stalling because we're waiting for Danielson to heal.
Right.
And we always say that is one kind of knock, because we're used to wrestling in the WWE way, where there's a backup plan for every backup plan, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So do you think this kind of hurts the storyline with making the BCC be in a slump, or does it make it more real? Like, hey, they lost a guy. Like, they're not as good right now. Like,
yeah, I think it kind of makes it more real, because I mean, it's more realistic. And I mean, they've been in kind of a slump for a while. That's what started their feud with the Elite, right? Because Mox tapped out to Hangman in that match.
Yeah.
And then Danielson lost on the same show, and then they just went nuts and started like stabbing people with screwdrivers. So, I mean, they've kind of been on a losing streak for a while. I would like them to have a bit more direction. I hope that the Mox Eddie thing ramps up again. Yeah. Because I want to see that.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that Regal can't be there. That would be like the ultimate.
Yeah.
Like how he slapped Mox and Danielson the first time he showed up.
Yeah.
Like if they were just getting trounced and just in the middle of the match, Regal just walks out, just starts punching one of them, and then they turn around and they would like it.
I feel like maybe Danielson can be that guy. Like maybe he can show up midway through the match and be like, I'm like not in the match, just like slap Wheeler Yuta or something, just because he likes to slap Wheeler Yuta.
Very true. Yeah. Okay. I'll take that. I'll take Danielson as the.
Because he's been calling. I mean, Yuta did it this week, last week or whatever too. He's been calling Excalibur Man in the Mask. Yes. So maybe he's the Regal substitute.
Oh, man, why did Regal have to leave? Anyways, now the next match, I have a feeling you have a lot to say about.
Yes.
Before you say, we're just going to announce Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay. And I put down in my notes, Ospreay has to win this match.
He has to win. There's no way he should. Like if he, now on our Blue Sky account, our first post was if Cena wins, we riot sign, modified to say if Jericho wins, we riot. They will riot, and I will riot along with them. Yes. I will be at home across the Atlantic Ocean, like rioting with the people of London if Will Ospreay doesn't win.
He has to.
He has to. Like, there's no other way that this can go.
And unless he physically says, I am not winning, you don't book Jericho to win this match.
No, I think even if Will Ospreay refuses, like you make him win, because
reverse Montreal screw job.
Yeah. Jericho puts him in the Lion Tamer or Wells of Jericho, and you somehow the ref rings the bell and he goes, "No, I think Jericho submitted."
And Jericho plays along with it, like, I did.
Yeah, I quit. That hurt me, I guess, somehow. Because there's been so much wrong with all of this that they can make it right by just having Will Ospreay win.
Yeah.
Like, he has to. He has to.
Yeah. I mean, I get the callback. They were going to do it, and then COVID broke out. Yeah. And I understand all that. But you had every opportunity to at least have them bump into each other backstage between Forbidden Door and last week.
Yeah. I mean, so much. The fact that for months, felt like months. It must have been months. It could have been years. I don't know. They've been having Jericho be like, is he going to join Don Callis for endless episodes of Dynamite, week after week after week? And then the segment is, yeah, I am. He goes, oh, wait, you thought I wasn't? Well, then I'm not. Like, that was the whole, no, what is that? That's insane. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It was so dumb.
And whoever decided that somehow Jericho needs to be a face here, no.
Yeah, that's also dumb.
They had his whole breakup with the JAS where he was just being a jerk and ignoring them and caring more about Don Callis than them, and somehow now he's the good guy. No,
right?
No. And then Sammy's saving him, and they're just fine. No, this is all stupid.
So dumb.
It's so bad. I don't know who came up with this, but I'd like to blame Jericho, but maybe he didn't. Maybe someone maybe it's a Tony Khan thing. Maybe it's a Don Callis style. But it's bad. All of it is bad.
It's so bad.
That segment was terrible, where Don Callis for some reason had a painting. When was Don Callis going to reveal that painting? If Jericho said, no, I'm not joining, what was Don Callis going to do? Go, oh yeah? Well, I had this painting made. What?
See, in hindsight, I thought the painting was hilarious for that reason, that it made
10,000%
no sense to be there. And why
none
would there
whatsoever?
Be two? If you're a con man, you make two paintings. Right. You have the good news painting and the bad news painting, and you reveal the right one.
Right. Why would he have it sitting there? Because he thinks Jericho's going to say no. Right. First of all, why would he think Jericho's going to say no? Everyone in the world thought Jericho was going to say yes.
Right.
And then he has this painting. When was he going to reveal it? Why was he going to reveal it?
Right.
And somehow Jericho ends up being the good guy, even though he screwed over the JS. Leaving them, wanting to join Don Callis until Don Callis said, I don't want you. Then he's like, oh, wait, no, I'm the good guy. No, why? That makes no sense. Takeshita just he's nobody in this storyline when he should be. They're just
true.
It all sucks. It's all so dumb. It's all so dumb.
It's so dumb.
And somehow there's very few. There's one other one-on-one match on this card? Two other one-on-one matches on this card.
Yeah.
Punk and Joe. Okay, CM Punk and Samoa Joe, who's a 20-year-old storyline. Right. Okay. Then Adam Cole and MJF have been building up for months and is the most popular thing in the company. They're both for a title and a quote unquote real title, which isn't the real title. And then the only other one-on-one match on the entire show is this random nonsensical Chris Jericho. Why is Will Ospreay here? What is that? Why is he mad like that?
Yeah. I mean,
and somehow Don Callis is going to get kicked out and then just be allowed back because apparently that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different rules in England.
Different rules that apply to Don Callis explicitly.
I mean, it has potential to be a good match if it's under 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it does. It'll be fine.
If it's under 15 minutes, if it goes longer than that,
if it's half an hour, it's going to be awful.
Yeah, because I mean, not on Ospreay's part.
No, of course not. Ospreay can have it.
Jericho just is. I mean, let's admit it. He's getting old.
Yeah, I mean, Will Ospreay can probably have a good match with basically anyone.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll be good. It'll be good. But yeah, the way they got to it,
Jericho,
they could have got to it so many other ways.
Yeah.
Than this. They could have had Jericho turn Don Callis down 4 weeks ago, had him turn him down, and then Don Callis, threatened to bring someone to get even with him if Will Ospreay couldn't actually be there. And then now this week, at least it would have built up to something.
And that was the other thing when he attacked him. I thought it would have made more sense. Oh, okay, Callis paid him You know what I mean? Like he jumped in the ring and
Right.
attacked Jericho. And it's like, oh, okay, well that makes oh no, they're not together either. It was just like Don Callis was an innocent bystander.
Yeah, I mean, are they? I have no idea. Like they were together at Forbidden Door, but like he didn't want him there.
Right.
Like Will Ospreay didn't want Don Callis. Don Callis just kind of showed up.
Yeah. So it's
is weird. That I guess this could kind of be Will Ospreay's pick, because I mean Don Callis helped him beat Kenny Omega, so maybe this is Will Ospreay like paying him back for that.
They could have said that. I mean,
they could have. Yeah, they could have any indication. That one, yeah,
you know, someone could have picked up a microphone and just said those words, and we'd be in a different place. But
yeah, I don't know. Will Ospreay has to win.
Has to.
Is Jericho going to have his band play him to the ring so that he can say he played in front of a sold-out Wembley Stadium?
Yeah,
I mean, he's almost certainly going to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, just for the spectacle of. Everybody loves that song anyway, so yeah, they're 100% playing. And I hope they do it better than the one time his guitar player played him out and just nobody knew who it was.
Oh, right.
We were like, what the hell's that guy? He's like, oh, he's in Jericho's band. Okay. Like, yeah, just have the whole band there. Anyways.
This would have been a lot better. I mean, we're going to talk about Takeshita when we talk about the next match. This would have been a lot better if it was a tag match, like Ospreay and Takeshita against Jericho and like Sammy or something. It would have been better.
Yeah. That's what I thought was going to happen. And then it would lead to Ospreay versus Sammy down the road.
Which would have been a better match. And yeah.
Totally better match down the road.
I don't know. I'm lucky that we didn't do this podcast on like Wednesday night or Thursday morning, because I like my rage.
Still be talking about it.
Rage over that segment has died down a little bit in the last little while. But like as it happened, like I watched Dynamite a bit late, like an hour into the show. I was like an hour behind.
Oh, okay.
And I normally don't go on the internet during it, but like after the Jericho segment, I just started texting you on being like, that was awful. Don't tell me what happens the rest of the show, but that was awful.
I was like, trust me, it gets better.
So bad. The rest of the show was good, but that was so bad. It was like, I don't want to keep dwelling on it, but it was like, it was the most nonsensical, dragged out.
Yeah.
Like this is Jericho's thing for the last like year or two now. It's just everything is like 5 times longer than it needs to be. That's why you're right. I'm worried this match is going to be half an hour long because everything Jericho does, he does like 2 or 3 times longer than he should be doing that thing.
Yeah, and he shoots himself in the foot every time, because it starts out like, oh, this was cool, man, that thing was awesome. If it would have ended 10 minutes ago,
right? Like, yeah, every promo. If his promo was 5 minutes instead of 15, it would have been great. But like, no, he just keeps going.
Yeah.
Even the feud, like the feud with Eddie, the feud with the BCC, like all those, the stuff with the JAS leaving him. Like if that had all been cut down by a third, it all would have been pretty good. It's just,
moving on.
We have to move on. We can't just do this for the rest of the
show. The Golden Elite versus Bullet Club Gold and Takeshita. This is going to be great. I think this is the first that we see Bullet Club of the evening. But I think Bullet Club's going to be not just Bullet Club Gold. I think we're going to see New Japan Bullet Club
That'd be
on
fun.
this show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to either the Golden Elite are going to reform regular Bullet Club, and then we're going to have 2 Bullet Clubs in AEW, or Jay White's going to be the leader again, and they're going to be separate from the Elite. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to say, when we were talking about how Will Ospreay could have, or Don Callis could have had a 1 sentence to clarify what that feud was about. Like this week on Collision, Jay White just easily explained, like, oh yeah, why did we help Takeshita beat down Kenny Omega? Oh, because we're sick of the Elite saying that they're the best part of Bullet Club. Okay, there you go, done.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Now we know exactly, like, it was 1 sentence. And it makes and now it explained everything. Like, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it did. And I mean,
like, they're not with Don Callis. They're just like, they are mad at the Elite, and so is Takeshita. Problem solved. There you go. It all works out.
But what are the fans going to do? Because Jay White and Juice like CM Punk. Like, can they be friends with both of them? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, they're going to be in the same locker room. Maybe they're.
I
Maybe
know.
They're friends. I don't know. But it'll be fun.
Watch
Bullet Club. How good has Bullet Club been though?
Uh,
Bullet Club Gold.
unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievably good. Like unstoppable almost. Everything they touch is great.
Yeah, they're like sufficiently threatening. Like they look like they can, like they're not just jokes. Like they can win matches. They can hurt you. They can be cocky. They can be mean, but they're also funny. They're
the NWO.
Yeah, they're great. Like the guns have been an excellent addition. Like totally. they've done such a good when on Collision, Tony Schiavone was interviewing them and they took the mic from Tony Schiavone, but then the guns kept doing stuff with his hands.
Yeah.
like making him move his hand. Like that was great. Yeah. They're so the four of them are hilarious, but also like cool at the same time.
Yeah.
It's great.
And I mean, they have a cardboard cutout over than most people that are real wrestlers in AEW.
Yeah, they're great. So who wins?
I have Bullet Club Gold winning because of a full-blown invasion. I think they're going to join back with Jay White, and we're going to have an actual invasion angle that is a good one.
That makes sense. I feel like Bullet Club and Takeshita have to win because like the elite are like, I don't know. The elite are like, I can't think of another wrestler who's like this. Like John Cena at the height of John Cena-ness. I mean, they can lose whenever they want, and like it doesn't hurt them. Like if Kenny Omega loses this match, or no one's gonna Kenny Omega or Hangman. Like they can lose, and it doesn't matter really. Like they'll just be just as over. But like Bullet Club and Takeshita need to win because it'll put like if Takeshita pins like Kenny Omega or Hangman Page, like that's gonna put them all over
on a new level of
And especially because All Out is coming up next, I feel like a lot of the heels might win on this show, especially because it's a lot of it's like a lot of multi-man matches. So I feel like if like say Takeshita pinned Hangman Page on this show, well then those two can have a one-on-one match later on.
Right.
So yeah, I think Takeshita and Bullet Club.
Okay. We seem to be on the same page on it.
Yeah, no, we need Biddy to come in and tell us we're dumb and like actually we're all completely wrong.
She's just gonna come in and say the opposite. That's all she doesn't have to say. Like, what did you guys say? Oh, the opposite of all those things.
And somehow, next week we'll be like, so Biddy swept us.
Yeah, she caught everything.
She somehow got matches that weren't even on the card, right? I don't know.
Yeah, the ones that were unannounced, she called them too. We have a coffin match: Darby and Sting versus Swerve and AR Fox.
Yes.
Like we said earlier, AEW put together a package that I mean, minus Sting, but everybody in this match has a history of, well, they went back to what? I watched the first half of it. It was about 2017, 16, something like that.
Yeah, it went back a while.
Yeah. And I mean, that they all came from the Pacific Northwest, and now, I mean, talk about full circle moments. Like,
so this is what you get when you acknowledge the history of other wrestling companies. You can have a story that goes back years and years and years because they didn't just meet each other when they signed with AEW. They knew each other before.
Yeah, and you can
play off that now.
Yeah, like you can make a small video, even if you don't own the rights. You could say, "Hey, we did this then," and blah blah blah. Like, makes perfect sense. You don't live in a bubble.
Right.
Now, my question to you: Sting is undefeated in AEW in general, and Darby is undefeated in coffin matches. Yeah. Does the streak come to an end?
That's why this match is so hard to predict for me. Because if it wasn't for those facts, especially Sting being undefeated, my first thought was, AR Fox and Swerve will win because they need the win. And again, heels can win here because we get Darby. They can do a Darby, Swerve match later on if they want, Darby to get a win. But because it's Sting, I'm gonna say Sting and Darby, just because I don't think they're gonna have Sting lose. I think Sting is gonna win all his matches.
Yeah. The only thing that I thought that they might do is like do a thing where like they kidnapped Sting and he's like tied up at the hotel, so he didn't make it, and they just destroyed Darby. But you're gonna have Sting on this show.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. So,
and I love because Joker Sting is back, so he has to come out and do something crazy.
I know we talked about it, but that segment was incredible last.
It was really fun. Yeah. Joker Sting is fun.
Joker Sting is great. So yeah, I think Darby and Sting, I think they have to.
If it wasn't for the fact that I would have picked, like I said, I would have picked Swerve and AR Fox because I like them, and this would be a huge win for them. But also, all the heels can't win. So
yeah, I was just going to say, and you got to give, like, there's 80,000 people there. Like, you give Sting the win. You pump you got to give the crowd something that they're expecting.
is what they want Triple H to come out and just beat him up with a sledgehammer.
Yes,
that's what a large crowd at a major event wants to see, right? They just want to see Triple H destroy him with a sledgehammer and then move on as if nothing happened.
Well, no, Brock Lesnar comes out next and just gives 9 F5s to whoever just got beat with the sledgehammer. Then
the thing, I'm not going to make this a thing, but Sting's match against Triple H at WrestleMania, not only did Sting lose, which was an awful decision, they made not only did they make Sting like the guy who was, carrying the banner for WCW, which had shut down like 18 years before this show was happening. Not only did that happen, but when DX came out to help Triple H, they had the NWO save Sting.
Right.
The two, Hulk Hogan and Sting, if you know anything about WCW,
right,
you know that they were against each other all the time. And then for no reason whatsoever, the NWO came out. And not only that, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were with the NWO, and we all know that they're also friends with Triple H. So why?
Right.
What a terrible idea. Like we can mock, things that AEW has done wrong, and they have done, but like they haven't done that. So they didn't sign a world-known big star, the only big star who's never been in their company before, and then just completely destroy him just for fun.
We said it on here like a million times. Like, imagine if AEW signed like Cena, and like people would be blown away. Like, oh my god, that dude's like good. They wouldn't just have him come in and just like lose every match and then retire. And you have like creative freedom. You're not a cookie cutter. I mean, like we said about, well, I almost called him Cesaro. Good God, about Claudio. Like the first time he cut a promo, we're like, oh my god, he can talk.
Yeah,
because they didn't let him for 7 years. That's why.
Right. Sting needs to win. Sting, like he doesn't need the win, but he deserves the win. He's Sting. Yeah. He's never going to be in front of 80,000. I mean, even if WWE and AEW continue to sell out massive arenas, like Sting is not going to be on most of those shows. So he deserves to have a huge win in front of a massive crowd. So
then
and Hulk Hogan won't be there to steal his thunder.
We don't know if Hulk Hogan will be. What a gold.
That's true. We don't know. We don't know for sure.
What if Tony Khan just signed Goldberg secretly and Sting's gonna go and then Goldberg gives him the jackhammer and breaks his neck,
and then somehow wins the world title later that night.
Yes. And the tag titles and the women's title. It's just like,
and then retires with all the belts.
Yeah. That's what's gonna happen.
It could happen.
It totally could. Speaking of belts, FTR versus the Bucks. Round 3, 80,000. I mean, this match is going to go off the rails, right?
Yeah. I wish, and we don't need to go into it, but I wish that if you've paid attention to the internet, you know that there was a situation that happened earlier in the week, and we're not going to speculate because I'm not a lawyer or a police officer.
Exactly.
But that kind of puts a little bit of a damper on it. Not a lot, but like it does kind of put a bit of a damper on it.
Yeah,
and it makes me think that I thought FTR was going to win, but now I feel like the Bucks going to
win. See, I thought that initially. I changed my mind and I went back to FTR just because the tag titles have kind of. We don't want the tag titles to turn into the TNT title.
Yeah.
and we need somebody with a long run. Like,
yeah. And I know the Bucks are like the tag version of Jon Moxley. Whenever there's a problem, put the titles on the Bucks. Like when Jeff Hardy had his situation, they just put the titles on the Bucks because they're like, oh, they know we know they're going to keep showing up and not like do anything wrong. So like they are kind of like the Mox version, like the tag version of Moxley. But I would love for it to be more stable and for FTR to have like a year-long run because that would be great. I just think you don't want to end up in a situation where you have to strip the titles because of reasons. So I think it might be easier to have the Bucks win it just because at least you don't have to strip the titles. You don't have to worry that like, oh, maybe they won't be able to show up for another match. The Bucks are going to be there.
True. So, well, hey,
but the match will be fun.
Definitely. Yeah. I don't have too much more to say on that. I feel bad if his situation wasn't as big as it seems because it did take some of the wind out of the sails. But like you said, everybody feels it looming over them right now in that match. Yeah. Like he knows he messed up, but he also let down 3 other people. So, it's unfortunate, but
I mean, I think it seems like the match is going to happen, but I'm really hoping the match. I'm glad that it will, not because I feel like, if he did something wrong, not that I feel like it should be brushed aside and he should just move on. Like, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that it's 3 other people as well. Like if they had to cancel the match because of that situation, like that's not fair to anyone else who like didn't do, like the Bucks had nothing to do with any of this. So like, they should get that. They should get that moment. So yeah, I'm glad it seems to be happening. The match will be fun, and yeah, I think the Bucks will win.
Okay. We have the 4-way women's match for the title between Shida, Toni Storm, Saraya, and Britt. I have Saraya winning just because it's in London.
Yeah.
But again, the women's, like, I kind of want Shida to like have, I know she had a big reign, but it was during COVID. And like, I want her to have another long reign, but with people, but I don't think that's.
I really, really want her to win. Like, I really do. I think she would be the best. Like, I feel the same way. I want her to have a really long title reign with fans, but I can't see it either. Not because of anything she did. I just don't.
Right.
I don't think she will. But my swerve here, it's an unpredictable one, and I don't know how much I believe in it, but I'm going with it, and I'm saying it. I'm going to say Britt. And the reason I'm going to say Britt is because I think Jamie Hayter comes back and helps her.
Oh, okay.
I think Jamie Hayter can't wrestle. Apparently she's out for the rest of the year, but she can come back and throw her a chair or something, right? To like
what you said about Danielson, she can come down and slippers the barbed wire or something. Yeah.
I feel like that might happen just to get her on the show because it really sucks that she can't be on the show. So if she can come down and just do something at some point, or Britt wins cleanly and then Jamie comes in to celebrate, but also like, just so you know, when I'm back, I'm coming for the belt.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Britt, and I know I'm not that confident in it, but I feel like a Britt Jamie storyline could go really far, and even if Jamie can't wrestle for a long time, I want her on the card somehow. So,
well, that makes sense. You just sent the thing this week. Britt's taking some time off as a dentist, so
yeah. And I mean, no one would be happy with Britt winning in the building, unless Jamie helped her. So
true.
I think they might do that.
Hey. Okay.
And I would have thought Saraya, but I feel like the reason they're doing the 4-way match is because they obviously want Saraya in a title match at the show, but they don't necessarily want her to win. And this is how you get her in the match.
That's true.
But she doesn't have to lose, right? Like you don't want to bring her to a match. If it was 1-on-1 her and Shida and she just lost outright, the fans would probably be upset.
True.
But this way she can lose and not lose.
That's a good point. I didn't even realize it till you said it a few minutes ago. There is literally only 2 1-on-1 matches.
Yeah.
So there can be a lot of like not necessarily odd finishes, but like Shida doesn't even have to get pinned.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's another thing I just thought of. Britt can come and help her beat like say Jamie comes out and helps Britt beat like Toni Storm and win the belt, and then Shida can demand a rematch like at All Out or whatever, other being like, oh, I didn't get beaten, so I want to. She could win the title back from Britt, and then Jamie can later say, oh, you can't win it without me. I see, and then that could be a thing.
There you go. Yeah.
So yeah, either way, something fun is gonna come out of this.
Yeah, something's definitely gonna.
And I love Toni Storm's like manic, 1940s movie star
unbelievable
character. It's great.
It's starting to grow on me. I thought it was dumb at first, but it's getting better and better and better. And
you're right. I want her to like not be able to like properly get ready for the show.
Yes.
Like she comes out and she still has like her hair like all uncurlers or like a robe on, being like, because now she's lost track of time because she's so like consumed with this that she like didn't get dressed for the card or something. Yeah, that would be fun.
Love it.
But then somehow like wearing slippers or something still is incredible in the ring. But then like yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh man.
Now, does this break up the outcasts? Because Toni and Saraya are in the match and Ruby's not. Does this lead to them breaking up?
I think so, unless Ruby would help one of them win.
Like and then they stay together and the other one gets mad?
Yeah.
Like she helps Toni Storm or something, and then Saraya
those two stay. Yes, that's if she helps one of them, that like the three will be gone, but those two will stick together.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that. This is another unpredictable one. There's not too much unpredictable on wrestling generally. Like we've been the same most matches, but this is another unpredictable one.
Yeah. Well, moving right along, we have the air quotes champion Punk versus the king of television, Samoa Joe. Round 3 or 4, whatever it is, 20 plus years in the making, 84,000 people. This has potential to steal the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm a little like I said before, I'm a little concerned because their match they had in the Owen tournament was just fine. Like it wasn't great, it was okay.
Yeah.
And for all that build up, like, and for all their previous match, I mean, obviously not 20 years ago. They're 20 years older now.
Right.
So you can't really expect what we got in like 2004 or something. But I hope it's a good match because it has the pop. What they've lost in like explosiveness and strength and speed, they've gained in ring awareness and storytelling and psychology. So it could still be an incredible match. The only potential downside for me is Punk kind of obviously wins, right?
No.
Really?
Yeah. I think Joe becomes the king of collision.
Okay. Because my thought was Punk obviously wins because he's going to carry this title around until he gets to MJF. But have they said, or does he lose and then say it's not for the title? Like, have they said it's for the quote unquote title? I think they have, right?
I think they have.
Yeah.
Well, I think Joe wins this title, and the Ring of Honor television title is kind of like the ECW television title used to be. Like, remember how like when Rob Van Dam had it, he would like main event pay-per-views above the champion.
Right.
I think they take Punk's fake championship and the Ring of Honor television championship, make a new belt. It's still the Ring of Honor belt, but then Joe becomes the king of collision. And if you're like, that belt is like the belt that would travel all shows, if that makes sense. And then we'll have a legit television title now. That's what I was trying to say, I guess.
All right. Yeah, I could see that. And then it'll drive Punk crazy.
And it'll drive Punk crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just my little, it comes full circle. It buys into Joe being, I think by the time All In happens, he will have broke the record for the longest reigning Ring of Honor television champion ever.
Yeah.
So there's that too. He wins both belts and kind of combines them and just makes like the Uber ROH TV title. I don't know.
All right. I can see that. I think Punk wins and then moves on to either. I think maybe a rematch because they've now quote unquote again forgot that Ricky Starks' suspension was only 28 days and not 30, so that he can be at All Out. I'm sure that's just a coincidence that they timed it so he could actually be at All Out. That's just coincidence, I'm sure.
Yeah, totally.
I love because you could tell that they suspended him for 30 days and then probably looked at the calendar and was like, oh no, we didn't mean to do that. 28 days, that's what we meant.
Yes.
I think time served. I think we'll probably get Punk versus Ricky again at All Out, maybe.
I'll take that again.
Maybe. And then, yeah, Punk's going to be still parading around with his title. I think he wins.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. I like some competition back and forth.
There you go.
Main event, MJF versus Adam Cole. I kind of told you my theories. I think Cole wins. I think the Kingdom screws him, but the second time, the first time in the pre-show was the ruse, however you say that word. And the second time, Cole leaves as champion with the Kingdom, and that's my call.
Yeah, I think Adam Cole wins because, like I said, if they want to put the title back on MJF, they can just do it next week. I don't know how, though. There's going to be some sort of screw job somewhere. Yeah. I think he is going to be the one who screws MJF. I don't know. I like your idea. I didn't consider that, but I like it. But somehow Adam Cole screws him. I think maybe MJF tries to screw him with the rules say like Cole wins by pinfall, and then MJF comes out and goes, the rules say it's no DQ, but then Cole takes advantage of that and somehow screws. I don't know, but yeah, Adam Cole wins. I don't know how, but he does.
Okay. I mean, it's
going to that would kind of have the crowd angry at the end of the night, and I know you always want, especially a crowd this big, you want them to be cheering, but because there's another pay-per-view a week later.
And like the other thing, like, I mean, this is their biggest pay-per-view. There has to be a surprise, right?
Right.
Like someone has to come back. Someone has to make a debut. And I mean, it's obviously not going to be Edge. That is a heel I was prepared to die on, but his contract is not up till September. So
yes. I was almost all in on that though. Throughout the week, I was just like, "Ooh, it's his last contracted match." Ooh, all these AEW people are posting photos with him. Like, it might happen, and then September, darn.
Yeah, but hey, you never know. Maybe they could buy him out. Hey,
never know.
Just saying. I mean, Tony Khan is a billionaire, and it's only it's like literally buying 3 days worth of probably a couple $1 million contract. Couldn't be that much.
Yeah.
Anyways. Sorry, Tony Khan, I'm sitting here spending your money like it's mine. So like it couldn't be that much, a few $100,000. Jesus. Like spoil your paycheck. Yeah, so like there's also that aspect of this whole
thing. Yeah, there's the possibility that Cole screws him, wins, but then someone else comes out to challenge Adam Cole where like you leave happy. Because Goldberg is here now.
Yes, exactly. That would be awful.
Do you think people would boo if that was the surprise?
Yes.
I think you'd get like a John Cena reaction where if his music hit, people would cheer initially, being like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." And then 10 seconds later be like, "Oh no, wait, I don't want him here." And then for a second I'd be pumped. And then I'd be like, "Wait a second, do I actually want this? I don't think I do." But for like a brief moment, you'd be excited.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean,
now if they end the pay-per-view right after that brief moment, it'll be happy.
See, Goldberg's that slippery slope because, like you said, like that initial. I mean, it's like what every wrestling fan does whenever they hear "I'm a Real American." I mean, you hear dun, 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 like you hear Hogan's song, and you're like, okay. I'm excited. Oh no, that dude sucks. Like you're like,
if at this show, it would never happen in a million years. But if it at this show, like the Vince McMahon No Chance in Hell played, I would cheer at first.
Yeah.
And then be like, wait a second, that guy's terrible.
Yeah.
But for like a split second, you're being like, yeah.
Yeah. You'd be like into the moment and like the memories would come flushing back in. You're like, yes. No, that sucks.
Yeah.
Damn it. You almost got me.
Yeah. So who is it? It's not Goldberg, I'm assuming. Who is it? Who do you think? If someone's going to show up at the end and challenge Adam Cole?
Again, this is the first time in a million years. It literally could be anybody. I read a post the other day. Well, you got to take Edge out of the equation now because we do know he's not done until September. But they were like, it could be anybody from Ric Flair, Edge, or Ryback, and they named like 90 people. I'm
right.
like, oh my God, it literally could be any of those people.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
But you have to, right? Like, I mean, we had and I know Christian and stuff, like those type of names aren't that big, but it all out last year, we had Adam Cole and Danielson.
Yeah.
Think about that.
2 years. That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, not last year. Yeah. Because
what if it's Anthony Ogogo?
Hey, someone that should be on the show, but Cody ruined his career.
I mean, I feel like people would cheer.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be a good reintroduction.
I mean, he's not going to go jump into the main event, but
yeah. But you have to, right? I mean, it's pro wrestling. You can't just say, here's the card and this is exactly who.
I feel like that's how it has to. It has to end. You're right. Like All Out 2021, where Kenny Omega won, and then we were like, here's Adam Cole, but wait, here's Bryan Danielson. It has to be something like that. Maybe it's Danielson. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, it could be a return. It doesn't have to be a new signing, but there's so many, there's so many names that are free agents / and even people someone
turns out Roman Reigns' contract expired and nobody knew, and they just bring him in.
Hey, that's what happened with Roderick Strong. So, I mean, when you deal with incompetence all the time,
wait, we forgot Cody only signed for a year, and they just bring him back.
That might be a worse reaction than Goldberg. If his music hit, people are like, oh Christ.
It's just Cody. And then the show doesn't end, and it's a 20-minute Cody promo. him talking about everything that he could think of. Yeah.
And then Brock
the fans
Lesnar's music hits.
They cut off the mic because it's 11 o'clock and Cody's just still talking.
Then Lesnar's music hits, and for once people are actually cheering for Lesnar. It's
yes.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something. I know he's not a main event person, but he does have a history with Cole. Do we see Kyle O'Reilly return? Again, I don't know his progress.
I don't know his progress, but that would be really cool.
And he was also a member of, Undisputed Elite. I don't think he was ever a member of the Kingdom, but I mean, there's that.
Bobby Fish comes up, it's just complete silence.
People are like, who the hell's that guy?
85,000 people are cheering. Bobby Fish comes out, and everyone's like, huh?
Yeah, it just stops. Everybody's like, well, time to go. Look at this
crowd just starts leaving. He's just like, wait, guys.
What Triple H said.
He calls up Triple H while he's on his way back from the ring. It didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out the way you said it was. Yeah, so I don't know. I've been trying to think of older British wrestlers that they could bring in for nostalgia,
yeah.
But again,
I mean,
you hate to say it, that they're all dead.
Too bad Regal's gone.
Yeah, Regal's the only person that's still alive. Davey Boy Smith's gone. Dynamite Kid's gone. Who else were big in the 80s that were British? There weren't many.
Yeah, there weren't many. I don't know. Is there someone who's weirdly over in the in the UK? Just because, there's every so often you get a guy who's not from there, but for some reason that area really likes him. How the Germans really like David Hasselhoff. Is it something like that? Is there a guy who's just super over in England for some reason because he I had a match there in 1986 or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just find a way to make it Bret Hart. You couldn't do Bret Hart in Toronto. You could do Bret Hart now. Just find a way.
There has to be a way to get the Hitman here.
There has to be a way. They couldn't get him in Calgary. They couldn't get him in Toronto, but they can do it now. Find a way. Whatever the fine is, just pay it. Again, we're spending Tony Khan's money. Being just pay it.
Yeah. He's a billionaire. You can write that off as a business expense to the NFL or something.
And there you go. Just do some minor, do some small tax fraud.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Just
but I'm excited.
Very excited.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be. I definitely won't watch live because I have tickets to a baseball game during that I purchased in a incorrect thinking when I did not realize that it was the same night, same day. But it's a fun time for a pay-per-view. You can hang out throughout the day and watch it. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about staying up late.
Yeah, I know. I'm having a couple buddies come over. We're gonna order some pizza and watch it.
Nice.
The only thing that you could call me the conspiracy theorist of the show. I still have faith that All Out is going to be possibly streaming, and I still can't order it on my cable. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I can order the one in October. Was that Full Gear?
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't say I can order it. It comes up.
Right.
It All Out is not even listed. Like,
there you go.
Yeah. So, it's never not been listed. It's, one of their 4 major pay-per-views. So
yeah,
something's up with that. I don't know.
Well, it'll happen right after Johnny Gargano debuts in AEW.
Well, I was also thinking that could be instead of having a big debut, that could be their big announcement. Like, hey, you bought this pay-per-view, but next week, if you have what's not HBO Max anymore, if you have Max, you don't got to worry about it.
Right.
I don't know. That's just also my wishful thinking that I don't have to spend another $70. There's that too.
There you go.
The days of that are coming to an end once I get a new computer, but because I don't trust watching a pay-per-view and screencasting it from my phone. I just
because you're a very old man.
I just don't trust. I want something more powerful than my cellular telephone. That's because if it would freeze or lag,
it's the most powerful device you probably own.
That is not true by any means.
Your phone?
Yeah.
It's incredibly powerful. You have a
it's
iPhone.
Incredibly powerful. Yeah, but it's not the most powerful device I own.
Well, we're not all on the bleeding edge of technology like you are.
Yeah, I mean, my phone, it's good, but it has a hard time streaming Ring of Honor, let alone a live pay-per-view with millions of people watching it.
Mine's always been fine.
And again, I don't know what, it would be no difference running on a PC and streaming it to my television. Like, you're totally right by saying, I'm not going to buy a $4,000 gaming PC. It's just going to be a run-of-the-mill PC that my phone is probably more
you
powerful
custom build this $10,000 computer with special cooling and it's only to watch AEW pay-per-views.
Yeah, so I can save money.
So you must do lots of gaming, right? Oh no, I don't game. I have an Xbox for that. This is all this entire setup is just so I can watch an AEW pay-per-view and not have to worry.
And pay a cheaper cost.
That's right.
I spent $10,000 to save $30 every 4 months.
There you go.
Yeah. See, if that's not the most American statement I've ever heard. That's
so. Anyway. Before I forget, question of the week.
Yes.
What will be the match of the night at All In, or match of the day, I guess, if you're in North America? But what will be the match of the show at All In?
Oh, that's a great question. There's a lot of potential show stealers. I almost said show stoppers, but that's the.
I feel like Bucks and FTR is an option. Obviously, anything with Kenny Omega is an option.
Punk and Joe.
I mean, the women's match could be incredible.
Yeah,
but I think it's Adam Cole MJF, the main event. I think that's going to be the best match because their first match was so good. That half-hour draw match they had on Dynamite, so good. And MJF has been absolutely killing it with his main event matches. His match with Danielson was incredible. That 4-way 4 pillars match was incredible. So I feel like that's going to be the match of the night. It depends on the ending. Depends on how they stick the ending.
True.
For that one.
Well, on that note.
Well, you didn't pick one. What's yours?
Oh, Punk and Joe. I called that a long time ago.
All right.
Yeah, there's just too much there to like you said, they're older, and they're gonna show the youngins, like, hey, if you just take care of your body, you can do this. You don't, you can adjust.
Is Punk gonna ban anyone from Wembley on like mid-match?
Totally. I mean, probably.
Because like whoever the ref is, he'll be like, "Sorry, Aubrey," and just like kick around.
Yeah. I love the rumors that fly with him. It's so great. So great.
It's great.
Anyway. Anyways, everybody, thank you. We're trying to keep this not short, but on the shorter side, because we're also going to have to do a preview and a review next week.
Next week, we don't know yet if it's going to be one podcast.
Right.
It's a review and a preview, or two podcasts. Depends how we feel. Depends what happens. Depends how much we have to talk about. So
because
if you want to make sure you hear that episode, share, subscribe, follow,
all those things,
us, whatever things you can do.
That. Actually, that's one we don't care about. Don't even.
Yeah, we don't really do much on there anymore. So if you followed us on X and you notice we're not really Xing much, that's such a terrible name. If you notice we're not really Xing much anymore, that's why, because it's a disaster and everything.
Even if it's still a thing by the time this posts tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we have no idea.
We have no idea.
Follow us anywhere else.
Yes.
We'll post more on the other social networks because we're not posting on that one. We're on like Threads. We're on Instagram. We're on Mastodon. Blue Sky.
Mastodon. Forgot about that one.
We have a website. If you want to find us, it's not hard.
Yeah, just Google us.
That's right.
You can also just Google us. Elite City Podcast. Well, on that note, enjoy All In. One with that. See you later. Happy wrestling, as Ian Riccaboni would say. Later.